Okay, today's video I'm going to basically show how to make a simple, easy silicone mould. I'm going to use the first part of this little Buddha, just the first half of him, for a project that I'm doing. I need the back of him absolutely flat, so this lovely sack and everything I actually don't need. When I first started making silicone molds and doing projects like this, I spent money on things that other YouTubers said was necessary, but I found you don't need to spend the money. So I've just got some simple bits of cardboard here from a package that I had delivered, cut it up. I've made my basic box. I've glued all the edges together with super glue because it's fast, easy, and it actually works very, very well. To finish it off, you don't have to use this tape. This is like one of the things that I bought when I was dealing with making silicone molds and making things with resin, etc. But to be fair, I just used normal clear sellotape and it did the job perfectly well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tape up every single edge of this box just to sort of secure it in so none of the fluid from the silicone comes out. I would normally sort of go all the way around and go OTT with it, but it's not expensive, it's okay to do. This stuff doesn't actually seem as great as standard sellotape right now, seeing as I've started recording anyway. So what I am going to do is I'm going to grab my normal sellotape because I think it works perfectly fine and it costs a lot less. I think I paid something like £10 for this fancy tape, whereas we all know you can get stuff like this from the supermarket and pound shop for literally next to nothing. And I'm not sparing when I'm using this. I will literally wrap it round and keep wrapping. It's going to be secure, just like, you know, as long as it's secure, it's flat, it's got no gapes or holes in it. Just keep going round. Very importantly, very important tip, before you do any mold making whatsoever, you do have to make sure your area is completely clear. If you've got any pets, pet hairs, as you know, can get absolutely anywhere. So you don't want the slightest bit of hairs or dust or bit of grain or anything that's going to land in with the silicone, because it's going to affect the outcome of how the mold is going to be in itself. You want it to be completely clean, completely dirt-free, no extra lines, no nothing. Because silicone will, the slightest thing that's in it is going to think that's the shape that you want, and it's going to set aside that shape. If you're creating a mold that you're going to use for multiple purpose, which is what I am doing at the moment, you want to make sure it's exactly how you want it to be. They do say if you're going to create a mold that is going to be used multiple times, it's actually a good little tip to let it set another 12 to 24 hours after you first demold it for use, just to give it that extra curing time, and apparently it helps the mold itself last longer. You can get different types of silicone where your silicone can have different types of strengths. So you can get a silicone that's quite strong, you can get silicone that ends up with a floppier texture, softer texture in your mold, depending on what you're using, maybe how many angles or edges and things you have in it. Maybe if you've got lots of shapes that split out, you would use the softer one, because you're going to damage it otherwise when you're demolding it. You don't really need much more than this, because it's a small mould. Because it's so small, it's not going to have the weight and expanse. So when you actually pour your silicone in, it actually hardens pretty quick, and it's not runny like liquid water or anything. It's not just going to gape out. It's going to be in there. What's very important to do next is to get your release spray. Personally, I use this because I got a massive deal on it. I think I got something like 10 spray cans, and it worked out to like just about £2 each when I bought them all. So you really need to spray, whether you're using cardboard, whatever you're using, you need to spray it so the silicone easily comes apart from the cardboard. It just easily peels off. And because it's cardboard, and because I've literally I'm recycling this from a package that I've received, it doesn't matter if I pull it apart. I've got my mould, and that's all that matters. Now, for what I'm doing, I only need the front end of my item that I'm going to make a mould from because of the project that I'm doing. So I'm actually using some pieces of this Jenga game. With silicone making and resin making, these Jenga bits of wood I've found incredibly useful. And I think over the past 2 years, I've bought 2 giant Jengas, and I've used them for so many things, and they're just brilliant, and it's cheap. And you know it's already been cut to size, and it's smooth, and it's not dusty because you're not doing it yourself. So it's quick and easy and cheap to get. So I've used one of these mixing lollipop sticks here, and I have velcroed my Buddha, believe it or not, to the mixing stick. So I just need to balance him on there because I don't want him touching the bottom completely, and I want a good amount of silicone mould between the actual base and the actual item I'm using underneath, because otherwise it becomes too thin and it can tear easily, and it can become very unusable very, very easily. So now I've done this, I'm planning to only fill the mould up to just below where his sack is, the sack bag. So once that's done, I'm going to leave him in there for 12 hours. And then I'm going to demold him, and then I should be able to have a flat surface back from the resin item that I'm going to create, which is what I need. I need it to be a flat back, but I will show you that in a minute. So right now I'm going to stir my silicone. Okay, now I've got my item in its position. Obviously I've made sure it's clean, I've made sure the area is clean. I'm now going to mix the silicone rubber. I'm actually using MB fiberglass. I don't know if you can say this, but while I'm actually weighing it, I'm going to stick to grams. I'm going to zero in. Now for this particular silicone rubber, it's 10 to 1%. So it's, say if I was to put 100 grams of the main mix, I would put 10 grams of the catalyst, but I think for this project I'm going to need a lot more than that, so I'm just going to keep pouring. I am going to put my gloves on in a minute. I haven't touched the catalyst yet. I'm guessing it's going to be a whole heap, so I'm going to go to 500 to start with. So on that says 623. So if I even that out to 630, oh, there we go, 640. So let me just go to 640, because then I'm going to put 64 of the catalyst. Eventually. It is important to get your measurements right, because it does affect how the actual silicone itself sets. It affects the time, it affects the consistency. You don't want thick lumps here and there, which is why the stirring itself is extremely important as well. You've got to make sure that you stir it thoroughly. so there's no separation in liquid whatsoever. We're almost there. We're almost at the 640 mark. She says. I'm doing it slowly because if you're buying silicone, there we go. If you're buying silicone, you're buying resin, it all adds up. Things are even more expensive now for everyone. So I'm going to zero that now. So I need to put in 64. $61, 2, 3, 4 just doesn't want to come. I'm sure that should be 4 by now. Yeah, 4. Okay. Right, so just to make sure I don't get any on my skin, I've done this loads of times. You should really put your gloves on straight away. Wear a mask, protection over your face. Wash your hands completely afterwards. The mixing sticks I've got are the standard, really large ice cream, ice lolly sticks. I get mine on Amazon usually. I've bought so many that I haven't actually bought any for a while, but they are usually pretty cheap, and you get a good amount. So I'm going to move this out the way. The good thing about silicone is if you do accidentally spill it on your surface, you can clean it and wipe it up much better, so your surface is back to normal. Unlike resin, you get that on your surface and don't clean it, you're kind of stuck with it, which I learned on my previous art tables. This one is pretty new, designed and got my partner to build it for me, and this protection covering that I have on it, I'd like to keep it nice. So we're going to just mix this through. We don't want to do it too fast or anything because you don't want bubbles in there. There's no need, and it mixes pretty easily, pretty well, pretty quickly. It's not a long drawn out process. Just want to make sure that you get everything from the bottom of the cup all the way through, so it's all even and wonderful. Because remember, most of the time you're doing this not just to make a mold that you're going to use once, but that you're going to use this mold multiple times, hopefully, and the product that you create is going to be with you for a while. I personally think keeping your mould in a sealed sandwich bag, Ziploc bag, or even, it's not Ziploc, it's the one where you've got the little catch that you pull across the top. Those are the ones that I prefer. It keeps the dust off them. It helps them from stop going yellow. It's a good thing to try and find a silicone mix that doesn't turn yellow so easily. You can actually find silicone mixes that don't turn yellow so quickly, if not at all, but you need to look that up when you're actually trying to look for your silicone products that you're going to choose. Look for that. Look for the time that you want for curing, that's right for you, for consistency, for strength in your silicone, and what happens to it, how many times you can use it maybe. And good websites, good product companies will give you all that information. So I'm going to get dirty now and get really into this and get it right round the bottom and make sure that I've got it all the way through. It's in there, it's going there. I have bought pink silicone before. It might sound cute, but it really isn't when you're working with it. And because I like to use crystal clear resin, I just don't like the idea of colour in the silicone. I have actually bought clear silicone before, but unfortunately, you know, it was the only one I could find. It was clear silicone, but it was super strong. So actually demoulding anything from that was actually quite difficult. And we don't want to ruin our enjoyment by making something and then not being able to get it out. So I've pre-sprayed this already, as you know. It's clean. My item is in there. It should be strong. So now with the pouring, it's very, very important to pre-pour, also spray what it is that you're moulding. Because if you don't, you just get bits stuck on that too. So that's done. Your box is done. So I'm going to pray this holds, because this is a quick, cheap fix. Trying to save money. Trying not to create dust. And we're going to pour. Now we're going to pour. We need to pour very slowly in one corner and be patient. Don't just dollop it in. Because by pouring slowly, you're making sure that the silicone is settling everywhere. It's going to even itself out very, very well. But you don't want too many bubbles. And you don't want to miss anywhere. You know, Buddha's got a lovely face, and we don't want to pour it so fast that his nose is turned into a big giant apple or something. So we want to make sure we just glide it very slowly. It's a very relaxing, easy thing, lovely hobby to have. You're creating something and you need to have patience and enjoy what it is you're creating. This is only the beginning of a project. This is only the beginning of making something. You then got to create, you know, whether you're using resin or clay. You can use clay with this silicone as well. I've used plaster of Paris before with it as well, made some lovely vases. And then obviously you've got your design and decoration afterwards, haven't you? So no matter what you're doing, this is, sorry about my dogs, this is an open mould, so it's not one of these ones where you need two sides and all these pinpoints that you have to do and you've got to unfold it. I generally personally stay away from any creating that involves that. It doesn't mean that I won't do it. It just means that I like this method, and this is the method that I choose, and will continue to do so. So this looks like I'm going to need more silicone. So I'm going to make some more silicone. So there's no point you watching me do the whole thing again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the video to demoulding, and I've hoped you enjoy my video. It's new, I'm new online, so please subscribe and hope that I make some more, and enjoy your day. And I will be back very shortly to demould.